I've really had a strong passion to fly prairie grouse. First time I ever laid eyes on grouse country and the quarry. Hawking grouse really started with a imprinted prairie falcon and quickly moved on to others. The first bird I ever caught grouse with was this beautiful passage falcon my brother and I trapped just north of home in 1982. My first peregrine, June, an imprinted Peel's falcon. I flew for 17 seasons. She lived to be 21 and caught many grouse with that bird. Bill Burnham gave me a black jerk and I named Tar Baby. He would, without a doubt, be the best grouse hawk that I've ever had. Falconers really love to travel the country and challenge their birds with different quarry, different country, get away from home. And it's not really about catching a lot of grouse. The idea with grouse is to fly a super challenging quarry. Certainly the bird excels by success, and that's important, but there's a lot of failure and there's a lot of learning from that challenge and those failures, and it really produces some of the most amazing falconry birds that are being flown. My Peel's Peregrine River has certainly developed into really a great bird. She's a good grouse hawk, really has had a lot of exposure to sharptails, a few prairie chickens, opportunities, and probably less sage grouse than anything. Flying sage grouse with her last night really made me realize the challenge of that quarry that a lot of people think are pretty easy to catch. And in the fall, they certainly are. That's really a great time to make a new bird, develop a bird's confidence. And to me, flying really a proven grouse hawk at Sage Grouse is about flying winter. And December, January, February, sage grouse turn into something completely different from what we see September, October, and even in November. Last night, Maddie really did incredible. Found 3 different points during the same flight. River wouldn't give up, yet she was really kind of toying with the grouse, or the grouse were probably toying with her. She just wasn't real serious about it. Her weight was at her top end, but it's also a quarry she doesn't know very well. She's had a high rate of success flying sage grouse, but really has caught very few in her life compared to sharptails or even greater prairie chickens. But it was sure fun to expose her to some super flights. Always looks a little lost when I take her to sage grouse country. She's not familiar with that type of country. It's amazing how a bird gets locked into what it does a lot of at home. She's the first flight she really sailed around. Took her a while to get going. She finally did fly pretty well, but as this flight progressed, she flew higher and higher, eventually got up near 1,000 feet. With a lot of exposure to sage grouse, River would certainly fly this quarry beautifully and probably very successfully even through the winter. But just one of those things you have to get out and do and give her that exposure. Sage grouse are a bit of a drive from home. It's about an hour and 45 minutes to get to good sage grouse country where they're legal to hunt. There's certainly sage grouse closer to home, but those areas are now closed for hunting sage grouse. So it's a little bit of a drive, but it's sure fun to go down there and show her sage grouse and show Maddie sage grouse. And there's such a wonderful winter quarry for the dogs. It holds so well in snow, unlike prairie chickens and sharp-tailed grouse. But yeah, the country is really unchanged. It's a native habitat and really sort of a wilderness experience that I've always really been fond of.